Just so everybody knows, I am a male performer, entertainer that dresses in woman face. I've decided to drop the name drag because I think that they have made it bad now.
Wow. That's in fact, this little girl is like putting money in the drag queen's fake breasts.
What other activity do we involve children in where they've ever handed an adult money?
Yeah.
The way that adults hand other people money, a stripper. This is an adult practice that they are allowing children to be a part of, and they're actually letting them touch the adults.
Welcome back. We're doing damage control. We're doing the Lord's work.
Right now, I'm Kitty Demure. I am an ex-live drag performer.
And you also have an online persona who calls out the crazy drag bullshit that's happening at the moment. We get more shit from our community than from outside the community for calling out the bad behavior. And the truth is, obviously, not all drag queens are bad. We want equality. You have to call out the bad behavior when you see it. But some of this stuff that's been happening lately, I feel borderline illegal, but we're going to talk about that.
This isn't a dance lesson. This is a lesson in seduction.
That's what drag is.
It is. That's all drag is a seduction.
Would you consider this sexualizing kids?
Yes.
There comes a point where you have to take responsibility for what you're doing.
You're a grown adult, and you're responsible.
Like if I was a drag queen on stage and a little kid came up and started dancing, I'd be like, go sit down.
Look at the parents, go get your fucking kid.
Get your kid.
Real fun in the club is when a woman brings her husband or boyfriend in,
and the drag queen messes with him.
Yes.
Hilarious.
And they're messing with him. Why? Because it's a man dressed as a woman.
Right.
Now that same woman, maybe, not all women are like this, would not like it if a real woman was dancing on him. But
right.
I know women who are completely comfortable with it.
Right.
But once you change the gender roles, even though they may look exactly alike, feelings change.
Like obviously I can't control that the kid is there. You're allowed to exist in public, but I can control how you're interacting with me. The drag queen's literally teaching the kid.
She's turning around.
How to move her hips.
So yeah, you have this.
And the kid is innocent. The kid doesn't know what the hell is going on. The kid's thinking, I'm a star.
Funny, this is how you indoctrinate or show bad behavior to children without knowing you are. I mean, that person knows what she's doing is sexy and stuff, but that kid doesn't know it's sexy.
That's my point.
This is that little girl. She thinks she's having fun. Everybody's praising her for her little dance, her seductive little dance.
Right.
And then she'll do that in front of somebody who may not be so nice or innocent. And might be one of those people, weirdos on the street that we all have to accept now, and then they, take advantage of the child. It's like we've forgotten
what innocence is.
Right,
almost.
innocence, and that there are bad people out there. And the fact that they don't see anything wrong with it. Not one thing wrong with
nothing.
It. Like, come on, just meet me halfway.
There are so many videos out there posted by libs of TikTok and stuff, and Matt Walsh or whatever. They're always posting videos of drag queens dancing seductively, or like the photos that I have here of people, kids putting money in the drag queens, in the
garter.
In the garter. And it's like, again, if that was a straight woman, do you think it would be okay for a little boy to do that?
And look at the sponsorship on the
Walmart,
and
they won't sponsor us, right? It's like,
hell no.
Yeah.
Can you just point to one thing that a drag queen has done and admit that's inappropriate? Just that. If we could just start at the place where, yes, I agree there's been some inappropriate stuff. Like, I'm a Caucasian person. I know there's racism. I admit there's racism. It doesn't make me a bad person. You know what I mean? For
calling it out.
You see something, say something, right?
Right.
Well, I see something and I'm saying something.
If you don't, this is the kind of that happened. A drag queen who performed under the name Miss Rachel Rear has appeared in court on charges related to the possession and production of indecent and prohibited images of children. Andrew Dungan, 24-year-old, facing multiple accounts to 17 pieces of child sexual abuse materials he was found with. Some of the media were real children, others were illegal fantasy depictions of children engaged in obscene, because I looked at him, he's obese. Obscene pornographic acts. It's almost like I feel like some of these people hide behind their identities. I really do.
Yeah.
If we don't continue to call this out, this is the slippery slope. If there was a straight man that was doing this shit, people would call it out.
Like they put on the drag, and a lot of them do. They become something else. Their innermost desires come forward, and they act on that. And I've never personally understood that. It's funny when I'm dressed like this. It reminds me that I am a guy.
Really?
It reminds me. You know what? You can color as many lines on your face and shadow that caveman brow as much as you want, but you still are a man.
I read to kids in drag for a nonprofit called Drag Queen Story Hour. Drag Queen Story Hour uses drag to promote literacy, teach about queer lives, and spark kids' imagination. But programs like ours are being under attack. Right-wing politicians are spreading dangerous conspiracy theories about and inciting violence against drag performers and queer communities everywhere.
But that's the thing, it's not just right-wing politicians.
No.
It's people like us that I don't think are like far right-wing politicians. We're just regular people that happen to be gay that recognize that some of these drag performances are sexualizing kids. Not all of them, and I don't think the majority of Drag Queen Story Hour is sexualizing kids.
No, I agree.
But there is some crazy shit going on, and just because we call it out doesn't mean we're hateful right-wing Nazis. I'm sick of people saying that.
I would be happy if the drag community, and I'm talking powerful voices within the drag community, would actually come out and just admit there have been some inappropriate performances.
That's
to
it.
me, that would be a good enough place to start at. But they won't even do that because they know how the slippery slope works. And they know the minute you admit that there are any problems, then they're admitting it, they're opening the door for more accusations and problems.
And they're trying to legislate us out of existence.
What do you think about Drag Queen Story Hour specifically?
Okay, well, I did a little research on it. I'm not an expert at it, but I do know that it was created by a woman named Melissa. I can't remember her last name. And she's, first and foremost, an author. And she created these things, and, you know, coincidentally, it was her reading material that was being read and promoted.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
you know, it's a capitalistic venture.
Right.
You know, great. But the person that you just played said, oh, we care about literacy within the community and stuff. I don't think that that's the main reason why they do it.
I don't think so either.
I-
I think the reason they do it is for acceptance.
Yes.
Which is good.
Right.
Like, at what point does it become about acceptance versus being too sexual?
Correct.
Sexualizing kids. Like, to me, if it's not okay for a straight person to do it, it's not okay for a gay person to do it.
No.
And there's literally videos that I have here of drag queens teaching kids how to shake their ass. If there was a straight man that did that on stage, people would have a fit.
Like, people used to get arrested for these things. They wouldn't allow their children to be around humans that behave that way.
Right.
But because these people fall under the umbrella of LGBTQ+, it's like, oh, now we have to trust them all, or we have to just agree with them. And
Well, yeah, I think it starts with, like, because you're oppressed, you can't be an oppressor.
if you legitimately were just a person up there caring about literacy, dressed as a character reading a clean, family-friendly book, I think nobody would have cared.
Hi, I'm Mr. K, and I'm a music teacher on OutSchool. I teach all age ranges from 3 years old to 18 years old. And I focus on all different aspects of music, how to make it, how to enjoy it, what impact it might have on our society. But you might notice Mr. K only makes up about half this channel. Hi, I'm Miss B, and I'm the drag queen music teacher on OutSchool.
What do we think about the makeup, first of all? I don't think it's bad.
It's not bad. I mean, it's not, I mean, he wouldn't be on RuPaul's Drag Race.
Most of my classes are for learners ages 3 through 9. I mostly teach music and story time, where we read a couple picture books and sing some songs about the stories we read. And I also teach some music classes like Miss B's Musical Adventure. So I get asked a lot, why be a drag queen music teacher? Why not just be a music teacher? And there's two big reasons behind that. Number one, drag is fun, and learning should be fun. And so much of our current education system has completely taken that out of the equation. The second reason is because I didn't have queer teachers growing up. I didn't have queer teachers, I didn't have queer professors, I didn't have queer professionals in my life. I want to make sure that the generations that are coming up now get the chance to see visibly queer teachers in a professional space so that they know that being queer and being whatever is absolutely okay.
My only issue with this is that if you're teaching something other than like LGBT history or something, as a kid, I know that how I was. I would have focused on the fact that that person was in drag and not on music. I could be wrong, but like I feel like when you're a kid, you focus on anything that's different. I mean, kids get in trouble because young women get in trouble for showing their shoulders in schools, right? And now we have, you know, men dressing in drag and teaching. Like, to me, that it's a little bit sexist, to be honest.
I would be, like you said, more into his makeup and the way he looked, and I would focus my
And the
attention.
performativeness of it all.
Yes, it would automatically, am I in drama class or I'm in a music class?
Yeah, I feel like drama class would be something.
Yeah, if he did that in drama, it would be perfect. Do a makeup lesson, do everything.
Right.
But, and he also used the word queer. What does he mean by queer? Does he mean a man who dresses as a woman or a woman who dresses as a man? Or does he just mean homosexual?
Right.
Because I went to school, you know, I graduated in 1988, so I'm back in the day. We had gay teachers, and we knew they were gay, but
Yes.
they didn't make it a part of their identity.
Exactly, exactly.
They just exude gayness, and you knew it. But
Yeah.
They didn't promote it. They
Right.
didn't. Nothing. They were there to teach me social studies.
My name is Miss Jade. I use she, her, they, them pronouns, and I have been with Drag Story Hour for more than 4 years. Miss Jade is a fun, silly performer who loves to dance. My favorite question to kids is if they've ever dressed up for Halloween, and if they answer yes, that means that they've actually done drag before.
That's the only issue I have with this.
Don't agree with it.
Just because you dress up doesn't mean you're in drag. Like, people on the left love to say that words change and the meanings of words change, which is true, but that also comes at a price. Drag is gay men dressing up as women, making fun of gender roles, making fun of stereotypes, sexualizing themselves for adults for fun. So the fact that it has a sexual element to it is why most people that are not on the far left are always gonna be like, ooh, maybe not with kids, right? Which is like, you have to keep that in mind when you're fighting for the rights of these queens to do drag queen story hour, like this person, which I'm sure, like, she looks fine. Like, I'm sure
I think she's beautiful.
I think she's beautiful. She's probably very sweet, but you can't start teaching kids that shit. Like, just because you dressed in a Power Rangers outfit that you're gay, like that you're gay or you're queer, you're a drag queen.
Right, because drag is specifically connected to LGBT. And you talked about drag as far as gay men doing dressing up as a woman. Well, even prior to that, there was, it's funny because drag, honestly, from what I understand or believe, was actually birthed out of misogyny because women weren't allowed to be actors, like on a stage. So men would dress up as women and play their role. Right, it's almost like, and we're seeing this at Pride events that kids see, and some of the drag queen story book time, is that you will see men dressed as a woman doing things that would be unfavorable for a woman to do in public, and they're getting away with it. They have brought the adult version of that outside of the clubs, and now they are trying to use that in
at every Pride event, As a lesbian, I get uncomfortable going to Pride because I see not drag queens necessarily, but it is always men. Not gonna lie, I've never felt uncomfortable at a Pride parade because of women. It's always 99% of the time a guy who's gay, possibly, usually either in kink bondage gear or something, with either their penis visibly almost fully showing, or at least just their ass showing, and it's like, I don't want to see that. Like, I don't care if I'm at Pride or not, and it's not even because I'm a lesbian. I just don't want to see other people naked necessarily out in the open. It's kind of the what's the word I'm looking for? You know how like Buck Angel will call himself transsexual and not trans anymore because they ruined the name?
Transsexual used to be what it was back when we were younger. It was, you were a transsexual.
Wow. Now you have to go by male performer now.
Right. Well, you know what?
Instead of drag queen, because they've tainted that name.
You know what?
It's so bad.
Another word that you don't hear anymore is transvestite.
Right, which you just meant crossdresser back in the day.
Just a crossdresser, but
just a crossdresser.
I can be classified as a transsexual. I mean, I'm sorry.
A transvestite performer, I guess, technically.
I mean, I'll do this in my everyday life. I fully enjoy being a guy.
So go and check out his, her, theirs, theirs, M's, Z's, Zers. You have a YouTube channel, right?
Frog Self.
Frog Self, Dirt Self.
You could look up Kitty Demure on all social medias. Yes. I also play Hogatha Sisti.
Oh, she reminds me of, there was that cartoon, I can't remember, it was like a frog and she always talked like this. You know what I'm talking about? I gotta find it and I'm gonna put it in here, but you'll know what I'm talking about when I find that. That's what Hogatha reminds me of. But
she's just fun. Hogatha's really fun.
It's great.
It makes fun of the sensitive people, the woke people, the triggered people.
Oh, it's great. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up because we are the adults in the room. We're the damage control for the LGBT community, and make sure to subscribe to both of us, and I'll see you guys back here in a few days with a brand new video. I love you. Love yourselves.
Bye.
Bye.